Hi there, my name is Suri Crowe, and you are watching the MeidasTouch Network. May I be honest for a moment? One of the hardest things or frustrating things for me as a reporter, as a journalist, is to try and get people hooked or to care about a story about this beautiful blue marble that we all live on. And I guess it's like anything else. Until it happens to you, whether it's a story about gun violence or illness or health insurance or climate disaster, it's easy to just click and move to a story about something else. But here's the thing. Climate change is coming for all of us. I promise you. In fact, it's impacting your life right now, right this very instant. So when the proverbial shit hits the fan, who do you want helping you when disaster strikes? This idiot? Or leaders like this one?
I want to say a few words about Hurricane Helene. I spoke this morning with our FEMA administrator, Chris Well, and President Biden and I, of course, will continue to monitor the situation closely. We have mobilized more than 1,500 federal personnel to support those communities that have been impacted. We have food, water, and generators that are ready for deployment. And we are working to restore power for millions of people who currently are experiencing outages. And I just want to stress, and for the press that is here, to those who are watching, the storm continues to be dangerous and deadly, and lives have been lost, and the risk of flooding still remains high. So I continue to urge everyone to please continue to follow guidance from your local officials until we get past this moment.
Helene is a Category 4 hurricane, nearly registered as a Cat 5, that has absolutely obliterated huge parts of the South. Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, South and North Carolina, as well as parts of Virginia, where I live. Take a look at just some of the devastation.
Of the devastation we're dealing with here. Chimney Rock's gone. Flowering Bridge is gone. And the fucking road's gone.
Oh my God. Good. But it'll probably go to the side. I think there's somebody, there's them here. I think there's somebody in that truck. We can't get our 911 to work. Oh my God, dude. Everything out.
Road to nowhere.
I want to show you what this flood's done. Everything on the farm drowned. Couldn't get everything out. We managed to save one horse. The rest of the horses are trapped next to the barn. We cut all the fences so they could try to get out. But everything's gone.
I mean, it's heartbreaking. It's crushing. Billions of dollars of damage. Some estimates range from 15 billion all the way up to $100 billion of damage, which I'm guessing, having covered and lived through many hurricanes, it's probably going to be at the higher end. A climbing death toll. We are just now getting updates in Western North Carolina, where Helene's damage has been described as biblical by some. Roads have been completely decimated, so rescue and emergency crews can't even get to places to help people and to look for missing people. And, internet services down, cell service, so people can't call for help. Power is obviously down. This is all across these these 6 southern states. And, people have lost their homes, their animals, which crushes me. I'm a huge animal lover, and many have lost their family members, as well as first responders who put their lives on the line to go and rescue people. Here in Virginia, where I live, there were widespread power outages as well as some deaths. And where I live, which is right by the coast, we were under multiple tornado watches and coastal flooding threats, which I knew about because my Weather Channel app kept pinging my phone several times an hour, although that is all likely to go away if Republicans win, because Project 2025 is calling to gut all federal weather agencies and to commercialize them. In other words, if they even allow some of these federal agencies to remain whole without breaking them all down, which is what they're proposing, they would want to charge. So there would be no more free access to life-saving weather science and information. Because these crazies at the Heritage Foundation and Project 2025 think that climate change is a hoax. This is from an analysis from the revered Poynter Institute. Document, they're referring to Project 2025, describes NOAA, which stands for the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration, a federal agency, as a primary component of, quote, the climate change alarm industry, and said it should be broken up and downsized. Rick Thoman, an Alaska climate specialist at the University of Alaska Fairbanks, said Project 2025's vague language made it difficult to assess whether it called for eliminating NOAA and the National Weather Service altogether, basically. But, quote, he said that the intent is clearly to cripple public weather forecasting. That is mind-blowing. I mean, imagine not having the warnings that we all live and die by. Like, I live in a straight up hurricane zone, and like not knowing that there is a tornado watch where you need to be aware, or that there are lightning, which, right by the water. Like, I'm not down at the beach if there's lightning down there. And I know that because my phone is pinging and telling me. Like, I can't even imagine living in a world where it just, anyway. In Florida, where Governor Ron DeSantis rejected billions of dollars of infrastructure funds that would have helped update drainage issues, meet insurance regulations in a state where many homeowners no longer can afford homeowners insurance. This is a huge issue down in that state. Many of these people have now once again lost their properties and their homes, and they will not be able to replace them because they don't have homeowners insurance. They can't afford it. So Mr. MAGA rejected all of this funding, and he refused to comply with regulations that would have allowed a lot of these folks to have had homeowners insurance. And he's also banned books that mention climate science and signed bills that scrub climate change, despite his state being in the direct path of almost every major storm that hits the eastern coast of the United States. Leslie Abravanel posted this on X yesterday. Reminder, Ron DeSantis gave up $3 million in federal grant funding and as much as $500 million more. That's $500 million, you guys, by declining to participate in a Biden administration program aimed at helping states address the human-caused emissions warming the global climate. DeSantis said, no, I'm not going to participate in that. And digging further into it, the Climate Pollution Reduction Grants Program represents one of the largest shares of funding under the Inflation Reduction Act. And a reminder, folks, every single Republican in Congress voted against the Inflation Reduction Act, which right now, as I am reporting this story, is a critical part of what is helping this climate crisis that we are living through. It is a huge component of what is helping a lot of these Southern and Republican-run states get through and survive this crisis, but they all voted against it. So just side note there. This program offers $5 billion for states, municipalities, tribes, and other governments to plan and carry out projects targeting greenhouse gas emissions. 45 states, the District of Columbia, Puerto Rico, dozens of municipalities, 4 territories, and more than 200 tribes submitted priority climate action plans under the first phase of the program. Together, the plans convey a mosaic of community priorities as they help drive a major federal investment in the transition to cleaner energy. And this is a great way to avert and prevent a lot of the climate damage that we're all living through. But Florida was one of 5 states that said, no, we're not going to participate. And not trying to get wonky here, but this is important information that you guys should know, that there are ways to mitigate the climate disaster. But Governor DeSantis and other MAGA governors like Tennessee Governor Bill Lee, whose state is also in the middle of this disaster of Hurricane and Storm Helene right now, they said, no, we're not going to do that. Yet, who are they ringing up again for help? Who are they on the phone to right now? Oh, that's right. President Biden, the guy that they can't stand, the one that they complain about all the time. These red states are the ones who take the majority of federally funded tax dollars because they refuse to do the right thing in the first place. What's that phrase? An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And here we are again, bailing out these red states that absolutely refuse to do the right thing. It's just, Captain Obvious, one of my favorite accounts on Twitter or X, put this out yesterday or the day before. President Biden has just approved $1 billion in FEMA relief for Florida. And then he says, Ron DeSantis has just banned 100 books on climate change. I mean, just the absolute ridiculous irony and stupidity of these MAGA Republicans. And then underneath, somebody called Anonymous, Hurricane Helene smashes Florida. Ron DeSantis, let's all just calm down. I'll just call Joe Biden for some socialism, okay? Which is exactly what he did. And then here is our calm, steady President Biden. And here's a presidential statement. President Biden, I continue to be briefed by my team on the ongoing response efforts in Hurricane Helene's wake, and my administration is in constant contact with state and local officials to ensure communities have the support and resources they need. As we continue to support response and recovery efforts, we will make sure that no resource is spared to ensure that communities can quickly begin their road to rebuilding. Jill and I are praying for those who lost loved ones from Hurricane Helene and for those whose homes, businesses, and communities were impacted by this terrible storm. That is a presidential response, and that is exactly what he is doing. And he is putting out these posts frequently while being on the phone with all of these states' leaders and just going through X, just the cult of MAGA. These people are like, where's President Biden? Where's Kamala Harris? They're on the phone with your leaders, the ones who rejected federal funds and refused to participate in the Inflation Reduction Act when they had the chance to. Like, they just are not operating in reality. And it's really sad that they can't even see what this administration is doing for them right now. It's just maddening, the lack of education and awareness anyway, because I'm sure they're all plugged into Fox where they're barking about, where's Joe Biden? Well, he's doing his damn job. Like, imagine he's having to handle 6 states in the middle of huge disasters. Like, I get fired up. Salty Suri, because I'm just tired of the ignorance that goes on with the far right extremists. Like, anyway, once again, let me remind you that Trump, who, by the way, blocked federally, congressionally approved aid to Puerto Rico when he was in office, did throw those people paper towels. And here's what he said about Helene, a Category 4, like I said, almost Cat 5 hurricane the other night, at one of his weird rallies where he was like worried about people leaving.
The people that you see leaving, because nobody ever leaves. And when they do, I finish up quick, believe me. But I couldn't take pictures at the beginning. So I take them at the end sometimes. If I'm late, the plane gets late, you get delayed, lots of things happen. There's a little hurricane going on in Florida, as you know.
Does this look like a little hurricane to you? Finally, the MAGA heads, as you may be aware, are losing their minds over protected status immigrants like the Haitians who are in Springfield, Ohio. And what are they going to do when the climate crisis increasingly causes mass migrations of millions, which is what climate scientists are predicting? There is going to be less and less livable landmass for millions of people across the globe. This is the number one emergency that we as a human species are facing. Seriously, as this person notes in Carolina, the devastation in Western North Carolina is almost beyond comprehension. It's hours from the coast. It's in the mountains. Climate catastrophe isn't going to spare any of us. And that's right. You know, Donald Trump is saying, oh, well, you'll just have more beachfront property. He's such a just dumbass. Like, he's just not anyone who should be anywhere near any levers of power. And just a couple weeks ago, if you all recall, he was out in California saying that he was going to withhold any type of federal disaster aid because he's mad at Gavin Newsom. And Gavin Newsom tweeted this: "A glimpse into the future if we allow this man to be president again. Trump threatens to withhold fire aid over political differences with Newsom." Compare that to what President Biden is doing. And here's the clip.
And Gavin Newsom is going to sign those papers. And if he doesn't sign those papers, we won't give him money to put out all his fires.
I guess the chaos of Trump's latest soundbite from his latest weird rally is entertaining to watch. But let me tell you, I've reported on and lived through multiple hurricanes and massive storms, like so many I've lost count. And it's miserable. Nothing like Helene. And so it's just an awful experience when your power is out for a week and the food in your fridge goes bad and your streets are flooded and you're walking through sewage water, all things that I have done. It's gross and it's not a fun way to live. And if you don't have a responsible government that is coming to aid and people coming to rescue you, I can't even imagine what that would be. And right now, there are thousands of state and federal workers going to help the stranded, to reconnect power lines, to get cell service back, to provide food and comfort. Under a Trump administration, there is absolutely no guarantee that we would have any of that. And like I mentioned earlier, under Project 2025, there's no guarantee that we would even have these federal agencies like FEMA and NOAA and the National Weather Service to give us warning that a huge storm was coming. I want the steady hand and the wise head of a President Biden and his administration during times of crisis. And I want to know that someone like Vice President Kamala Harris will be the one to steer the ship next. I can trust these people in times of crisis and know that they are going to make wise decisions about life and death. Can you honestly say that you would trust Donald Trump and JD Vance when it comes to life and death situations? Let me know what your thoughts in the comments are. My name is Suri Crowe. Thank you for watching. Let me know what your thoughts are about climate crisis. If you think about it, if it bothers you, what you'd like to hear more about. It's something that I'm very passionate about. And I just want to continue to spread the message because it is truly impacting all of us in so many different ways. And please share the message and let me know what you'd like to hear more of and how it matters to you and in your life and what we can do here for you on the MeidasTouch Network. All right. Thank you so much and peace.
Hey Meidas Mighty, love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.